Welcome to this webinar of the Sensus BPM Designer. My name is Paul Klaassen. I am an account manager at Sensus Process Management, and I will introduce the Sensus BPM Designer to you in the coming half an hour. In your screen you also see a chat window, and you can put your questions there during the webinar. We will try to answer that right away. If we can't give the answer right away, we'll come back to you in an email that we will send later on to you. First of all, I would like to introduce our company to you, and then I will go to a live demo of our software, Sensus BPM Online. Sensus BPM Online is a total product, and today I'll give the demonstration of the BPM Designer. That is one of the two parts of the Sensus BPM Online. With the Sensus BPM Designer, you can map your processes, and we have also a part, the Sensus BPM Publisher, where you can publicate your processes on your internet. I won't give a demonstration of that right away. A webinar of a publisher will follow soon. So I'd like to start with a brief introduction of Sensus Process Management, our company. Now, who is Sensus? Sensus is from origin a consultancy agency specialized in business process management and process improvement. We were founded at 2000, and at that time we were looking for software which could help us with our projects at our customers. And of course, at that time there were also software available, and specific for large companies that use the software on a daily basis. They did quite well. But when they want to involve the total organizations and also employees who are not familiar with process mapping, then it was difficult. Those applications were seen too difficult to understand for people for the rest of the organization. Now, we want to involve everybody in an organization with the process improvement. So we didn't find any good applications at that moment, so we decided to develop our own product, that is Sensus BPM Online. It's developed on the latest web technologies, and it's also totally in the cloud, so you don't have to install anything on your system. Now, as I said, we are founded in 2000. Now we have 200 customers worldwide, so 250,000 active process viewers, and we are active in more than 30 countries. Now, with this slide, I want to show you that it doesn't matter for us how many, in what branch are you that you work for, because in every branch there are processes, and the nice thing of our software is that you can add your own information fields to each of the icons we use in our software. Now you see here a few of our customers, the Bank of the Carib, also The Hague, that's the city of course. We have the University of Leuven as a customer, but also some large building companies, the BAM and Mobilis TBI, and also USK People, and that is the temporary employment industry. So we are in very different branches working, and it's very nice for us also. Now, what I'm now going to show you is the BPM Designer. This is one of the parts of Sensus BPM Online, and in which you can map your processes. Now here you see the start screen of Sensus, and we call it the portal. Here you can find the possibility to add new projects, to open projects, a help part, and if you have a training available, then you can click it on here as well. Now I will go to a project I made beforehand already. So I start a demo project. What I would like to do is that I go on the different tabs you see here. So I will walk through them one by one, and during this demo you will see also the connections that can be made between the tabs. So we have the process tab, the departments and positions, documents, the applications, and the IT part. Now when I go I'm sorry, there was a little bit a technical issue. Okay. Now a little bit technical problem, now you see it. As I said before, I want to go to the different parts of the Sensus BPM Designer, the different tabs. And during the demo, there you can also see the connections we can make between those tabs. We have the processes, the departments and the positions, documents, applications, and IT. Now we start with the processes. Now here at the left side you find the process tree. In the middle we're going to model or map the processes, and at the right you find the information fields which belong to the different icons. And you see now there are not a lot of information fields available, and during the demo I will show how easy it is to add a new information fields. Now the top level of within our software is the organization. I have now taken our company as an example, Sensus Process Management, and beneath the organization level you can make your own classification of the projects between what we call themes. So you can add different themes. You can make, in this example I will make the primary, secondary, tertiary processes, but you can figure out for yourself which classification is the best for your organization. Now beneath the themes we have the main processes. And the main processes is a logical gathering of processes. For instance, here the sales processes, or finance, or HR, or consultancy, or production. You can sort out for yourself which main process that is handy for your organization. And beneath the main processes you find the processes itself. And when you want to add icons to the picture here, it works all with drag and drop. So when I want to add here another theme, I pick it up from the gray bar, I let it fall on the process, and here I have, and I can give it a name. And beneath, of course, I can give a description here, and I can make also some textual things like bold and listing and things like that. Beneath the themes you can add the main processes, and also that is with drag and drop. So when I want to add main processes, and it can be one or more, you can make your process tree this easy way. If I say here, for instance, the legal processes and maintenance. And beneath those main processes, you get the processes itself. So you can add here processes. All works with drag and drop, and it's very easy to make the process tree, or we call it also the process house. Now you can give it a name, a description, of course, and when I open a process, then you find here the icons that we use to make a process. The yellow one, that's an activity or an action, and the blue one is also an action, only it's a computer action, and that means that you always need an application to fulfill this action. So in the picture you see right away with all the blue icons, you need systems, applications to perform that activity. A gateway, and that's a yes or no in our software. We have an input, of course, and the output, an archive, and that can be a physical or a digital archive, of course. A trigger, what does a process start, and what is the result of a process, and the process connector, and that's a very important one because we want to map a process only once. So you don't have to do that twice, but I can imagine that some processes are used in other processes. For instance, if you have a billing process, now I can imagine that several processes will lead to the billing process. Now you have to map the billing process only once, and from the other processes you can make the process connector and connect the process with that billing process. I will show you in a way how easy that is to be done. Now when I want to add steps here, so we have here an order registration form. The first action is register and check the request, and the next step, if I want to add that, I let it fall on this activity, and you see that you can, in a very quick way, map your processes and make the flow of the process. So these are the steps you have to do to come to the result. And I shall also connect the process connector. Of course, I can give here a name, register, control, something. You can give each action a name. And here is you can say complete. And in the example I gave for the billing process earlier on, if I want that at the end of this process, I want to indicate that we have to go to the billing process, I can make the connection here. I select the icon, and at the left corner beneath you find the processes I already made at the left side. I had here also at the left side already made a billing process, and when I make the connection you will see the name of the process here as well. And when I go to that billing process here, then I also see that there is made a go back button as well. So I've made a connection. If this process is used through several processes, you find here different buttons to go to the different processes, and you can see where this process is used in and connected to the other process. I can double click on this one, and then I go to the process here, and I can also double click here, and then I go to the process. So that's a very easy way to connect processes to each other. This is the basic part of how to model your processes in our software. So again, the top level is the organization level. Then you can make a classification of your processes between through the themes. Here is primary, secondary, tertiary, but you can choose your own. Beneath the themes you find your main processes, and beneath the main processes there are the processes itself. And it can of course be one or more processes as well. Now then I go to the second tab, and that's the department and position part. Here you find the managing board, and with two departments beneath it. We have some positions, the CEO and the CFO. We have also here the sub-department, HR, for instance, with a position beneath it, and you can make a hierarchy in the positions. Now, when I want to add departments, it's a very easy way. I pick it up, I let it fall, and I can here, for instance, support. Now, I have maybe here some positions beneath it. For instance, the support manager. And support for E, and maybe a support assistant. Now you can make your own organogram in this way, and you have to do that once, and then you can make the connection to the processes. So when I go back to the processes and I go here to draft a proposal, then we see here that the first step, register and check the request. At the right, we can make the connection, which position is allowed to do that, of which is responsible. Now, if we say here the sales employee, I will make a connection now to each activity, because when I have made that connection, I'll take some positions to do that. I take a random position now. Because when I made the connection, then I can also look in another way to this process. Because now you see the steps in following parts. So, but you can also go to a vertical swim lane. Now you see here at the top the positions, and here you see the process, that's the steps who are connected to that position. Now we have that view also in a horizontal way. So here you find the positions, and you see how the process is going over those positions as well. And when I made a mistake, I can also easily make, for instance, I said the HR employee has to do this action, but if it must be the sales employee, I pick it up and I'll put it there. It's another view, so you can also go back to another view. So it is not a report or things like that. No, it's only another view, and look in another way to the same. You can also choose for a process you want from the left to the right if you want. Okay, now we have made a connection with the departments and the positions, but some of our customers use roles instead of the positions. And that is also possible in our software. I have to go to the project settings to make that available. I click on use roles, and when I apply that, I see that I have a new tab here. And at the tab you can make your own role groups, and you can add roles to it. You can give it a name, a description, etc., etc. And now, when I go to the processes, I can make the connection, not the responsible position, but I have a responsible role. So I can say this role is the one that can perform this action, and here I can connect a position to that role. So I can say normally the sales employee is doing that, but if he is not available, an account manager can also do that, and if he is not available, then I can say the sales manager. So you can see you can connect different positions to roles. You have also here a button that you can switch between the view of the positions and the view of the roles. So it's one of the possibilities you have to take a look what's best for your organization. I go quickly to the next tab, the documents. With the documents, you can make a hierarchy in the documents, all documents, and then you can make several groups of documents. So if I want to add a new group, for instance, the support, and I can add documents beneath that group. You can give it a name. Failure report, for instance. And here you'll find a URL field, and here you can make a connection to the real document you have in your DMS. When you make the connection between the documents and the processes, and you go to publish them on your internet, I can see that back on the internet, and I can click on it, and will come to the document within your DMS, which I have to use. So Sensus itself is not a DMS, but we are referring to documents that you have in your DMS. Now, when I have all my documents registered here, then I can go to my processes and make the connection there. So if I set this order registration form, it's an easy way. I can connect one or more documents to this input. So I can say an order registration form and maybe a quotation template that I need there. And so it's an easy way to connect documents to the places that you need. Of course, you can make reports which document is used at which process. I will come to that later. Now I will come to the part that I said, okay, on every icon you can add easily new information fields. You have to go to the template editor, and that's here the templates. And of course, not everybody in your organization will have the right to make to use this function, because you are making changes to the icons themselves, and yeah, that is not for everybody a good idea. Now, a lot of our customers want to make a rating matrix on process level, and I will show you now how easy it is to do. When I want to make changes to an icon, I can select the icon, and then I can say, okay, I want to add a new information field. Now, I said I want to make a rating matrix, so who is responsible, who is accountable, who is a consultant, who is informed. Then at the right side here, I can give, I can select a field type. You see we have several field types. For this example, I need a label field because I want to make a list. And I said an R, an A, C, and a Y. Here, because I want to refer to a function or a position, because who is responsible, who is accountable, then we have it about the positions. So I want to connect a position at that. I said save and close. And when I go now to a process, then I find here the possibility to connect positions to this rating matrix. So I can say the CEO is responsible, accountable as the CFO, consultant in this way is the sales manager, and informed is the sales employee. And so it's an easy way to connect and to make the rating matrix possible. What I wanted to show you is that it's very easy to add information fields. But of course you have to remember you can add information fields at every icon, but you have also to maintain it. So think about it in a right way, so you don't have too many extra fields. You have to maintain them as well. So think what's needed for your process model and what's needed for your employees. Which information do you want and on which level? Maybe you want it on the organization level, but you can also add information fields to the positions or to the roles, or on every icon you can add your own information fields. Okay, then I want to go to the applications. That works a little bit like the documents, so you can have here several groups of applications you use within your organization. So if I set here that applications, you can add here your application as well. You have to do it once. Here you can fill in the URL for starting up the application. And for some large applications, it can be useful to use the second part, that is the parameters. When we are allowed to deep link in, for instance, a large ERP system, then you can make different start screens and divide the application in different start screens and give on each start screen the application parameters with it, so it will start at the right screen. Of course, you can make the connection to the processes, and what I said in the beginning is that we do that on the blue icons we use. And here you can link one or more applications that you need in to fulfill this step. And of course you can report it as well. The reporting part you find here by the exports. You can export to Word, a PDF or Excel, and you can select all kinds of things. You can register yourself for a trial version of our software, and then you can see what here is possible. But you can select every kind of thing that you want to report, or you can make your own reports and also make report templates as well. Now I go to the IT level, and that's a very new level in our software. And at our customers, we saw a lot of processes which perform automatically, and where no personnel is involved. And from our customers came the question, is the possibility to map those processes as well? And that we do with our IT level. Now, for instance, if you register yourself for a trial version of our software, then there starts also an automated process. And in this example, I made it here. And when I select it here, you see that we use different icons here. We will come with a library of icons in the future. Now we have the icons used from Archimate. And with this process, with these icons, we want to show that it's totally different processes as our business processes. Now, when you register yourself on our website, then there are some things automatically done. So we have to make you put your things in Salesforce, our CRM system, but we have also to create an account for you, and that has a duration of 30 days, and afterwards it has to be stopped as well. So this is the automated process. No one is involved in this, but now we see how that process is going. And I can connect this process to my business processes. So when I go to the business process, and I click here on the process request a trial licenses for our web, and I want to make now a connection between we first check the registration and then the automated process is going on. Then I select this icon and I can make a connection to the IT level. And here's the registration of a trial of Sensus BPM Online. When I make the connection, you see that the color is changing here, so I see in the picture as well that there is something connected, and when I double click on it, I will go to this process, and again he has made a go back button. So it's also for the database that it's not going to be corrupt as well, and I can go to my business process as well again. So that's the way how to connect your IT processes with the business processes. And in the future, this layer will be very important because yeah, we want to know the sources of the data we're using and things like that. Now that's also things that can be handled in this layer as well. Now the last part is that you also can add your own tab here, and we call it add a new category, because I can't imagine that there are some management areas that you want to include in your processes. For instance, the ISO standard. If you want to include an ISO standard in your processes, we can take that in our software and connect that to the processes. But that can also be for risk or other things. Now you can make your own category for that. But I click on the plus here, and I'll take the example of the ISO. Save and close, and I see I have here a new tab, and it's called ISO. I will show you how easily it is to change the color, because black is a little bit orange, is a little bit glancing, more glancing. And when I say save and close, then I have the new color as well, and I can make our ISO templates. Now I'll switch now to a project where this is worked out a little bit further. Here you see the ISO 9001-2015 with the different parts, and you see also here on the icons you can make your own information fields as well. So you can see here the state, the date, status, etc., etc. And you can connect that to the processes as well. So when I go here to draft a proposal, I can see that they are connected. These ISO standards are connected. And on each part that is connected, there is also a noting part. So we can give some information if this has to be covered in this process, but it's not yet ready, then you can add that here as well. Now, what I said, there are different management areas you can connect to that, but that is for later on. Now these are the possibilities, and I want to end with a quick sneak preview of the publisher. In the beginning I said I don't want to show it, but I will give you a quick glance how easy it is to make your own publication, because in our publisher it's possible to make navigation screens as well, and to take care that your employees find information very quickly. Now when this is a process, you see if people have to look in things like this, it's a little bit difficult. So I'm going to make now a publication of this process with some navigation screens as well. So this is a screen you can make yourself. You can import it in the publisher. You can make some areas clickable and connect it to the information in Sensus. So if you here want to go to a process planning part, here you find the information on the process part, and you can also see here what the information is you have on each icon. So this will help you in a very nice way to go to navigate through the information so that your employees in your organization find everything they need for their work in a very easy way. Now, that is what I want to show you today of our Sensus BPM Designer. You will receive an email after this webinar, and I want to thank you very much for your time, and I hope you get interested in our software. On our website you can register yourself for a trial version of our software, so what seems for me very easy to do, you can try it yourself. And if you have any questions which are not answered right away, please contact us and we'll inform you as good as possible. So hopefully we see you soon as a new customer of our software. Thank you very much. Bye bye.